being fired from many radio stations around the country. He has worked a lot of his career in Cleveland. He's also been in Las Vegas, Albuquerque, and Lincoln. Doc Thompson is on the radio station twice a day on 700 WLW and also WRVA in Richmond, Virginia. He's been a guest host for the Glenn Beck Show. He's been a big Tea Party supporter. And we'll wait till the train passes. And he also spoke at the 9/12 event in 2009. Folks, it's my privilege to introduce to you our first speaker of the night and our MC, Doc Thompson.
How you doing? Oh, you're gonna have to do better than that. We gotta be louder than the train. How you doing? 2 years ago, I had a call from a lady in Richmond, Virginia, where I've spent the last few years of my life doing a show there. She said, Doc, she said, I hear these people are planning these Tea Party events all over the country and we got to get something going. And I said, I'll help you out any way I can. Once I educated myself, found out what they were about, I said, absolutely, let's get it done. So we put it together. So while 5,000 people were at Fountain Square 2 years ago, we put 5,000 people at Kanawha Plaza, downtown Richmond, Virginia. And it was a day that was worse than this. It had rained all day. The temperature was about 20 degrees cooler. And I remember going on the radio that afternoon and I said, listen to me. I said, I don't want to hear any of your bitching anymore. I said, you can call this station and complain about taxes and everything else, but unless I see you out there, I don't want to hear it. And I was stunned. They came in droves and they piled in. Some of them couldn't even get in because they hadn't planned for it. They didn't know that many people were coming. And it was one of the greatest moments of my life to see people come together like that for the right ideas. Because I'll bet if you're like me, you said for years, when is somebody gonna fill in the blank? And you people that are a little bit older, you've been saying it a lot longer than I have. My dad's been saying it for as long as I can remember. When is somebody gonna? Well, somebody's have finally gonna, and we're doing it tonight. We've been doing it for 2 years, we're gonna keep doing it. I remember the next day saying on the radio, people called in, they said, Doc, is it gonna last? And I said, I don't know. I said, that's up to us. I said, it's a great start, we'll see how it goes. And a year went by and we had another Tea Party rally. Then another year went by and we got a lot of people elected. And during the whole budget debates over the last couple weeks, did you watch any of those? Did you hear the people on the floor? Did you hear that dirtbag Steny Hoyer talking about the Tea Parties? Oh, sure, he's trying to stick it to us. But the reason he's trying to stick it to us is because we have power. We've always had power. We just didn't know it for a long time. Well, finally, people have said that is enough. Did you see the debate over the $38 billion? Isn't that just swell? 1.6 trillion overspending this year alone, about that much last year and the year before, overspending for decades. So their big plan, 1.6 trillion overspending this year, they'll cut 38 billion. Nice. And then it comes out that the Congressional Budget Office says that 38 billion, did you see that? 325 million is what it really was. Because about 24 billion of that they cut was simply money that wasn't spent, that they had allocated for the census and other programs that they weren't even going to spend. It would have just come back to us anyways. So both the Republicans, the Democrats, the president, and everybody else there in DC is screwing this thing up, and I've had enough of it. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I'm sure on a Friday night you'd rather be with your family or watching TV, sitting on the couch, eating food, hanging out with your friends. And you know what? A lot of times that's what I'd rather be doing. But this is the least we can do. When you hear the national anthem, do you get choked up? What goes through your mind? Because years ago, I started saying to myself, you know, this is a moment when we go to ball games, and you hear the national anthem, it should be that moment to reflect. That's what it's supposed to be. And every time what goes through my mind is Valley Forge, the Revolutionary War, Omaha Beach. Then by the time we get to the end, I start thinking about the future and what's going to happen. And is this it? Well, it's going to be. $14 trillion is unsustainable. And if we allow them to continue this and add another $6 trillion by the Republicans' plan over the next 10 years, or $12 trillion by the president, unless you hear them say the words balanced budget and balanced budget soon, with that balanced budget having a line item for spending down the national debt, this is not going to work, and we're not going to be here. So thank you for coming out on a windy, gloomy Friday night to do your part to stay involved. Thank you so much. Give yourselves a hand. Got to thank our sponsors too. M&M Cleaning, thank you so much. Without the sponsors, this would be a whole lot more difficult. And Any Day Cleaning, thank you so much. A couple of years ago, a gentleman put together a Tea Party event down on Fountain Square, about 5,000 people there.
That comes about
Were you
from
there?
us not being fiscally responsible.
His name is
will
Mike
be one
Wilson.
of the most
Let's hear it
serious
for Mike
challenges
Wilson.
of our lifetime, and something that